Good morning. What a great day this is. And we're right in the middle of the Next 10, the Decade of Destiny. And I know you're excited about it just like I am, because last week, Pastor Luke, just like the week before and the week before that, brought it. And just some really practical teaching for us to highlight what we need to be doing for this next 10 years of our lives and the destiny that God has for us. So this morning, I want to kind of bring out one of the themes that Pastor Luke was talking about and highlight that as we have our devotion. Really, I want to talk today about how to stay faithful while waiting on God to get us to that destiny in our lives in the next 10 years. We're going to look at Galatians chapter 6:9, okay? It says this: "Let us not become weary in well-doing, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." When we think of waiting, very few biblical figures exemplify endurance like the character Noah. I mean, God gave Noah a promise. He said a flood's going to come. And Noah had one task, and that was to build an ark. But that promise didn't come to pass immediately. In fact, it took 120 years before the rain fell. Imagine the ridicule that Noah had to go through. Imagine the questions and the doubts that he had in his own mind, but he remained faithful. And Noah's story teaches us a lot of things. It teaches us some powerful truths about waiting on God. And this is a little bit what Pastor Luke was talking about last Sunday. One of the things that Noah's life teaches us is that God's timing is perfect even when it feels like it's delayed. See, Noah didn't receive a countdown. He didn't get a calendar from God. He simply just got a word from God, and he began building for 120 years. He worked and worked without seeing a single drop of rain. Didn't even know what rain was, but he kept working. And think about this. In our own lives, we often expect instant results because we live in this microwave culture where it just happens like this. We want quick answers to prayer. We want fast breakthroughs on everything, and I get it. But God doesn't operate in a microwave fashion. He's more like a crock pot, right? God operates on eternal timing, not earthly clocks. And one of the reasons why God doesn't use some people, we don't see things happening in their life, is because we give up too soon. Whether it's through our problems or pressures or people, we're so often tempted to quit, to give up. But Galatians 6:9 reminds us that at the proper time we will reap. And that phrase is key. God's timing is not just good timing, it's perfect timing. See, the flood didn't come a day early or a day late. It came exactly when it was meant to come. Trusting God means trusting His timing, even when it stretches our patience. Let me mention another thing that we're taught by Noah. Obedience in the waiting season builds spiritual strength. Obedience in the waiting season. See, Noah, he didn't just wait. He worked. He obeyed. Every plank he laid, every nail he hammered was an act of faith. He was waiting on God. Hear this. It isn't passive. Waiting on God is active. It's continuing to do good, to serve, to pray, to love, even when we don't see results. In Galatians 6, it tells us, it encourages us not to grow weary in well-doing. Why is that? Because the waiting season is often where our character is forged. It's where the faith is tested and it's deepened even. Noah's obedience over 120 years wasn't just about building an ark. It was about building trust and faith in God. Which brings us to one more thing that we learn about Noah and the way he waited. God honors perseverance with fulfilled promises. When we're waiting and we persevere, God is preparing to bring the promise to pass. After 120 years, what happened with Noah? The skies opened, the floods came, and Noah's obedience was vindicated. He and his family were saved, and through them, humanity was given a fresh start, another chance. See, God's promises are never empty. They may take time, but they're always fulfilled. I was thinking about Nadine and Clint. What an incredible story of their lives out in Scottsdale. And And to hear that testimony just warms anybody's heart. But I remember praying for them for years. I don't know, what was it, 5, 6, it was so many years we were praying that God was going to fulfill the promise in their lives that they were going to have a family. And they just couldn't get pregnant during that time. They went to doctor after doctor after doctor, you know the story, until finally, after she had this wreck of all things and went to the hospital, and they came back and said, guess what, you're pregnant. Oh my goodness. Even in the midst of all that she was going through, she was so excited, as we all were, that the promise was fulfilled. We would have loved for it to happen a long time ago and much earlier, but God's timing was perfect. Look at Galatians 6:9 again. It shows us that we will reap a harvest, it says. Not might reap a harvest, not could reap a harvest, but we will reap a harvest. The key is not giving up. Noah didn't quit. Neither should we. Whether we're waiting for our healing, waiting for restoration, provision, direction, whatever it is, God sees our perseverance and He honors it. He sees our reliance on Him, our total reliance on Him. And what's that do? It moves Him to want to bless us. So if you're in a season of waiting, take heart. Just like Noah, but just like Clint and Nadine, your faithfulness isn't in vain. Keep building, keep praying, keep believing. The rain may not have come yet, but let me tell you, the clouds are gathering. And when God moves, it's going to be in His perfect time. God bless you today. Have a great day, Dream City.